Holidays are fast approaching with Thanksgiving and Christmas just around the corner. But are you feeling alone? Maybe you don't have anybody special to share it with this year. Well, I'm here to tell you that you're not alone, and I'm going to show you how you can make this holiday season a time where you're not just surviving the time solo, but you're actually thriving and enjoying it. So stay tuned. Hi there, this is Tara with Be Well Healthy Living, a channel dedicated to all things health and wellness so you are truly living your best life. This holiday season, I wanted to talk a little bit about being alone. And this is something I know very well. I've spent a ton of time alone. I've spent holidays by myself. And so I wanted to share some of the wisdom that I have learned so that way you can know that you are not alone. First of all, if you're feeling alone, I just want you to know that there are so many people out there that are going through this together that they might feel alone, especially because our culture, the messaging out there tells us that we need to be with somebody to be important, or we need to have family. We need to be surrounded with this big, warm, fuzzy family feeling. And the thing is that might not be possible for some people. Maybe you're recently divorced. Maybe you've lost friends and family to death. Or maybe you're working far from home. Maybe you're working a schedule that doesn't allow you to travel to visit back home to visit family. Or maybe you are on a visitation schedule and your kids are with their opposite parent, maybe with their dad or their mom, and you're by yourself. So there's a lot of different circumstances why people might not have anybody with them for the holidays, but I want to show you how you can have a good time, how you can enjoy life and really use this time as a special time of self-care, that you can invest in yourself and look to it as a time where you're actually going to enjoy it, where you're going to grow, where you're going to nurture yourself, and you don't have to be sad. In this video, I'm going to give you 8 items that you can work on through the holiday season that'll actually help to improve your mood and your balance through this time of year. However, one of the biggest things I really want to talk about is perspective, because sometimes we're influenced by outside sources and we pay attention to what the messaging is at that time. And it's very strong that we need to have people, we need to be around people. But the truth is that we can be just as happy being alone. Now, let me kind of go into a little bit more detail about that. And the reason that is such a misconception is because happiness is one of those things that does not lie outside of us. Happiness lies inside of us, and we can learn to be happy and content in whatever circumstances. And I'm going to share a story here about my own personal life. I had struggled for many, many years when I was younger. I always wanted to have a child, and I struggled with infertility for a very long time. And at that time, I was surrounded by a lot of people who wanted large families. They valued large families. In fact, there was a gal who had 4 beautiful children, and she was depressed because she couldn't get pregnant with her 5th child. Yet here I was alone. Well, not really alone because I had my husband at the time, but I was not able to have even a single child. And yet people are depressed about not having a 5th child when I can't even have one. So it was a very difficult time for me. But instead of running from those difficult emotions, instead of running away and hiding out from those people that I had felt pain when I was around those people sometimes, I dealt with my emotions and I went right through them. I went through all the feelings of what it felt like to have that sense of loss and not being able to have a child. And I actually got through where I became content and happy despite not being able to have a child. Now, years later, I was blessed with a child, and it was long after I had actually given up that dream and that hope, and I just let it go when I went about my life being happy. So what I'm trying to tell you through this story is that you can be happy despite any difficult circumstance. It doesn't require you to have a perfect happy world around you in the way you might think, because you can be happy under any situation or any circumstance. So again, it's about that perspective and how you are looking at it. Another point that I'd like to make is that you can be happy doing things by yourself. I love to do some things by myself. In fact, I've done a lot of things by myself. I do things with my family, with my daughter, and I do things with my friends, but I also love to do things by myself. And it's kind of this taboo where I notice a lot of people are afraid to go do things by themselves. They're afraid to go eat at a restaurant by themselves, or they're afraid to go to an amusement park by themselves. But let me tell you, some of the best times in amusement parks I've had are by myself. I love spending time with myself. Now, that doesn't mean I don't have any friends, because I love to spend time with friends and family as well. But the fact is, I'm not letting a lack of somebody dictate to me what I can and can't do. I don't not going to let those external circumstances or external people dictate my happiness, because I am in control of my happiness. And when you realize that you are in control of your own happiness and having fun and enjoying being in your own skin, it is so powerful and so freeing, because then you realize you can do anything. So I'm going to share a few of the things that I have done by myself, just to show you that you can be comfortable in your own skin and you can do things, and encourage you that you can do things on your own. The first thing, I went to a movie theater by myself. My daughter at the time was away with her dad, and there was a movie that I wanted to see that I knew she wouldn't be interested in. So I took the time, a little self care, and I went and saw a movie, and it was great. I had a good time. Wasn't a big deal. Had my popcorn in it, and I had a good time. Here's me at the Grand Canyon. I had taken a road trip and I had spent some time in Sedona, Arizona. And I said, hey, what the heck? I'm not too far. I'm going to go see the Grand Canyon. So I went to the Grand Canyon and had an amazing spiritual experience there. Sat, prayed, meditated. It was amazing. And I enjoyed being in such a beautiful place and having the stillness that I was able to spend that time by myself and just sit and enjoy being somewhere that was so majestic and so beautiful was an incredibly spiritual experience. Another thing I've done is I visited an art museum by myself. That's a lot of fun, because you can always take your own pace and you can do fun things along the way. Here's me taking a silly picture just because I wanted to have fun with this moment. I mean, how often do you see a big spider like that? And I had just put the camera on a timer and posed and taken it by myself. But these are fun things that you can do. And it doesn't need anybody necessarily holding a camera. Just get creative with a tripod or a timer on your camera. Another one of my favorite things to do is go to amusement parks by myself. I've been a Disney World annual key holder for many, many years. I have also had annual passes at Disney World, and I love to go to Disney by myself. I love to go to amusement parks by myself. Here's me at Disney World having a great time. I had lunch at a restaurant by myself and got to do character selfies. Character selfies are so much fun. To do, and the characters love it as well. So I love going to amusement parks together. And the thing is that nobody cares. Everybody is so involved in their own lives and their own thing. I just go and I wander and I have a great time. And one of my favorite things to do when I'm by myself, I love to people watch. It is so fun to watch other families enjoying themselves, having fun and being silly. And it's a great time. And I still go on rides if I'm waiting in line. Sometimes I'm just standing there looking at my surroundings or reading something on my phone. You can put a good book on your phone, and you can do all kinds of things. And there's no need to necessarily wait for somebody to go. You can just go and have a great time. One of the funny things is I will sometimes ask my daughter, hey, you want to go to Disneyland? Because we're both magic key holders. And sometimes she'll just say, nah, a kid that doesn't want to go to Disneyland. This is a kid that's been raised at Disneyland, and she's been going on a regular basis since she was about a month old. So this kids have been around, and sometimes she just says no, but I'm like, great. And I look forward to it, and I go because I can take my time. I can ride the rides that she doesn't want to ride, and I can have a great time. So another thing that you can do by yourself and have a good time. Another thing that you can do is learn new hobbies or skills. Here's when I got my CCW, and I had a great time, and it was a lot of fun to go through that process. I didn't know anybody. I just made connections and I went off and I did it by myself. And it was one of the most empowering things to do, to take my own safety into my own hands and learn a skill and not take anybody else that was going to guide me or teach me except my own instructors that I found that helped guided me through the process to get my CCW. And one of the last things that I am going to share that I love to do by myself is I love to travel. Here is my trailer and car setup, and I drove this from California all the way to Florida by myself. I drove cross country, took the 10 all the way across by myself, and had the most amazing time. Because guess what? You can play the music as loud as you want, you can play the songs that you want, and do all the things that you want, and you can sing out loud, and you can have a great time. And what's fun about it is I stayed at different places, so you get to visit alpacas or camels or anywhere else that you feel like staying. But that was very empowering, and knowing your limits and knowing how long to drive on the road, practicing common sense safety was very key and very important for me. But that's something that it doesn't require somebody else. And the funny thing is I actually had, and one of these days I'm going to share maybe a more detailed video. I actually had blowouts on the freeway as well. So I managed all this by myself. And the thing is that I was safe about it. I traveled during daytime hours and had a great time. And I did not let the fact that I was alone stop me from having an amazing time. I think I've made the point that you can have a great time when you're by yourself. And it's all about perspective. Rather being a victim and saying, oh, woe is me, I'm by myself this holiday season, I don't have anywhere to go. No, throw that away. You can actually have a really good time by yourself. You can play music as loud as you want. You can sing, you can dance, you can be crazy in your own home. You can go places that maybe you couldn't go if you had a significant other or kids or anything else. And do the things that you couldn't do if you had a significant other or kids. That's one thing that it's great to do about mom time. If you have kids and they go back and forth between the other parent, utilize that time when you're by yourself to do those things that you can't do when the kids are around. Okay, let's change gears and talk about a biological issue that may be causing you to feel a little extra down or sad at this time of year. And that's called seasonal affective disorder, or SAD for short. Millions of people all over the world suffer this because it's an issue when it comes to hormones, because you're getting less sunlight at this time of year. The days are shorter. So you're not going to get that vitamin D that's needed to work on those hormones. You're not going to have that melatonin and serotonin activation in your body. So you're going to be a little out of sorts because you're going to be inside more because it's colder. You're going to be getting less sunlight because days are shorter. So this is, some people are diagnosed with it and many people are not. So I just wanted to let you know that there might be some biological issues that's causing you to be a little extra sad if you're not normally a sad person, but you might be feeling this. So let's just be aware of it. There are ways around it. Some people do light therapy where they have full spectrum light that they expose themselves to in the home. That's one option. Another option that I personally recommend is spend as much possible time outside that you can do. So the weather might be cold. You might have adverse weather where you're at. You might have snow. You might have other things. Try and figure out ways that you can be outside, getting that fresh air, getting the natural sunlight as much as possible. And if you can't get it on your body because you're bundled up because you're cold, then at least let it get into your eyes. So don't wear sunglasses, go outside without any glasses on. Let yourself get light into your eyes without having any type of block on it. Now, you don't want to look directly at the sun. Reminder on that one, you don't want to look directly at it, but just being outside, that light will enter your eyes. So that's one really good way, and that's the best way that I recommend getting some good vitamin D. I know that your skin is truly an amazing absorbing. That's how you get it, is by absorption. But if you can't do that, at least let it get into your eyes. That will help you with that circadian rhythm. Also, another thing you can do is take vitamin D supplements, and that's really important because it also helps your immune system. So work on exposing yourself to that look at light therapy, look at getting a light in your home, look at spending more time outside, look at possibly taking a vitamin D supplement. And all those things might actually help you boost your mood. And you'll realize that the cause of maybe you feeling as sad as you are might be a little bit of a biological response because of the season and the time of the year. Now, it usually comes late fall, early winter to spring, and women are more susceptible than men to this. Just wanted to let you know. Another thing that you can do to help you is to build up the cozy in your home. So if you're going to be spending time at home during the winter, then make your home as beautiful and as warm and inviting as you possibly can. Put up that Christmas tree, put up those Christmas decorations, play the Christmas music, and really get into it. And don't run away from feelings of sadness. Embrace the beautiful, colorful holiday that it is and enjoy it. Make your home, put blankets, play music, work on soft lighting, and really make your home a sanctuary where you feel safe and comfortable and at ease. Another thing that you could do is to do some art. And this can actually go hand in hand with working on your home as well and building up the cozy in your home, because maybe there's a room that you've been wanting to paint, or you want to put wallpaper up, or you're working on redecorating something, or you want to do something different in your home. That could be an art project. Or you could be crocheting a blanket, crochet some hats, or sew some clothes. There's so many different types of art that you can do, but art is really relaxing and it makes you feel good. That gets that creativity flowing. And when you get that creativity flowing, it makes you more happy, it makes you more content and more at peace. So if you're looking at this winter time when you can't spend as much time outside because it's cold or because it's dark, come inside into your nice inviting home and work on those fun projects that are going to make you feel good and are going to have a reward at the end of it. A couple more things that you can do that involve being with other people is you can volunteer, or you can get involved in community groups. When you volunteer, you're getting outside of yourself, you're serving, and that feels really good. The human psyche is built in such a crazy and magnificent way that when we give, it actually makes us feel really happy. It actually boosts our mood and makes us feel good when we give. So giving to others, maybe perhaps that are less fortunate, like in volunteering at a soup kitchen or something like that, is a really great way to get out of your own mind, get out of yourself, and serve others. Another thing that you can do is to get involved with community groups. If you belong to a church, sometimes churches will have singles group. I have gone to churches before long ago in the past that had great singles groups, and oftentimes they'll have things going on. Or reach out on social media. There might be some group in your area that does certain things or certain activities that you enjoy doing together. Perhaps you like to go dancing and you might love to go line dancing, let's say, and there's a group of people that go line dancing all at this together on the same day. Then you can kind of all do that. So get involved with groups that have the same hobbies that you like to do. That's a really good way to get involved with other people and be in the mix. The sixth thing that you can do is to build or create new traditions. So I'm going to tell you a little story from my 20s. When I used to work at a restaurant that was open 24 hours, never shut down. It was open every single day of the week. So I had to work every single Christmas, every single Thanksgiving, every single major holiday. And it was really difficult because we had to work with the whole family to figure out, because I was close to my sisters and my parents, and we had to figure out what time we were going to do it because we all had to coordinate our schedules. Well, that particular winter before Christmas, the pipes had burst in my mom's house. We had a deep winter freeze and the pipes burst and it went into her dining room and damaged her dining room. And she said, "That's it, we're canceling Christmas." And we were like, whoa, wait a minute. Instead of canceling Christmas, let's do it a week later. And I believe it was like New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. And we said, you know what, let's just do it a week later and we'll do it at my house. So we did. We made that decision. We're going to do it somewhere else because mom had damage to her dining room and couldn't do it. Well, that wound up being such an amazing idea and a great tradition that we stuck with it every year after. And one of the great things about it was we didn't have to worry about crazy work schedules. We got all the after Christmas specials and sales. So we were able to buy and take advantage because we weren't racing around trying to find Christmas presents for Christmas. And we're like, you know what? We were going to wait to go shopping. So we shopped after Christmas, got amazing sales, amazing deals, didn't have to fight the pre-Christmas crowds. And it just was a lot more relaxed. So we were able to create that new tradition, and it wasn't even Christmas. So if you are perhaps maybe away from your family and you can't because you have for your work schedule, maybe you're on call in the medical field or whatever it is, and you can't be close to your family, you can celebrate on any day of the week. You can say, you know what, I can't be there on Christmas, but we can be there on the Tuesday of the following week, and let's celebrate Christmas this day here. Or you can celebrate on New Year's, or you can celebrate any day of the year or week that you want. So that's a great thing, is you can create new traditions because we're not confined. Yeah, culture and society tells us this is the day that we have to celebrate, but why do we have to celebrate it on that particular day? We could celebrate it any day. So take advantage of that and celebrate Christmas on a whole different day with your family. Then you have still something to look forward to, and you're not trying to force it on that one particular day. The next idea kind of goes into the previous one I talked about with starting new traditions. And one thing that I recommend is to travel. Traveling is a great way to have a great time. Visit new and exciting places. Go to places that make you feel good and be happy. Maybe you live in the northern state and it gets super cold and you want to go to Florida and lay on the beach or do something fun. Make a new tradition for yourself and get out and do some traveling. Is a great way to have a good time if you can, if you're not constrained by work schedules. So traveling is a really good thing. So I'm going to be recapping those 8 things that I went over. I know I didn't really recap or number them before, but I will number them as I'm recapping in a minute here. But before I do, I just wanted to share you a little bit about my personal Thanksgiving that I'm going to be having here coming up. This Thanksgiving, I am going to be alone. My daughter is with her father. However, I'm not really alone because I have my dog. And if you don't have any animals or pets or anything like that, I highly recommend that you get a pet if you can, only if you have the lifestyle that would permit you to have a dog or a cat. If you can't do any of those, plants are actually really good because it gives you something to care about. It gives you something that you can tender, that you can make sure is being well taken care of. And so even a plant can really help out if you can't have any pets. But anyway, so I have my dog here, and I'm going to be doing some dog sitting for some other friends that are going out of town. So I'm going to actually be taking care of 3 dogs. I'll have 3 dogs in my home and be surrounded by such wonderful canine dog love and friendship that I won't have any time to even feel alone because I'm surrounded by such great love by a dog. But anyway, so for Thanksgiving, I am going to my friend's house. They also cannot go visit their family because the husband is on call for work. So we are all kind of just here, and we don't have any family here in this particular city. So we're going to all get together and have Thanksgiving together. And if you're afraid to talk to your friends and find out what they're doing, please don't be afraid to talk. And being afraid to communicate it's not good for us. We need to be able to communicate. We need to be able to talk. And most of the time, I think you would find that your friends would be more than happy to have you over, and, rather than you sitting home alone feeling bad. So you don't have to feel bad, but you don't also have to be afraid to talk to your friends and say, hey, what are you guys doing? You want to get something? I'll bring the stuffing. So you can have great opportunities, and you never know who they might invite, and you might make some new friendships, and you might meet some new people that are really great, and you're going to have a good time meeting new people that maybe they know. So it's a great opportunity to really build community and fellowship. All right, so now's the time that I'm going to go ahead and recap those 8 topics that I discussed in this video. So that way you can see that being alone or solo for the holidays does not have to be a negative thing. You can actually turn it and use it for something fun. So the first thing is to remember that you're not alone. There are other people out there that are going through this as well. There are other people that for different circumstances are going to be spending the holidays solo, and you're in this, you have good company. I'm here by myself as well, so you've got me. So just know that there's a community of people that are out there. You may not be able to see them, that are feeling, that are right there with you, and would support you if they knew you, I'm sure. The second thing is to get more sunshine or take vitamin D. That's to combat the effects of seasonal affective disorder, which might be magnifying those intense feelings of sadness. The third thing is to build up the cozy in your house, and that's to really make your house a warm and inviting and wonderful place to be, so that way you enjoy it there and you're not feeling like it's sad or it's not a depressing place to be. You want to make it feel happy, you want to make it feel warm, and you want to make it feel inviting. The fourth thing is to start new projects, start new art projects, especially because those art projects get the creative mind flowing, which automatically makes you feel good. Now that can actually work as well with number 3, to make your home more cozy, because you might be starting projects. Those art projects could be hanging wallpaper, or putting in a new floor, or painting your walls, or doing something around your house to make it more cozy. So doing those art projects is a great way to get your mind focused on something else and have a good time with a good reward at the end. The fifth thing is to volunteer or get involved. So volunteer and spend time giving to the less fortunate, or get involved with other groups that have like-minded values and hobbies. The number 6 item is to build new traditions. And this is where you can decide to celebrate the holiday on a completely different day. If there's scheduling conflicts that you can't be with your family, that you can celebrate on a different day. Or perhaps you might want to decide to meet your family somewhere in a foreign place or a new destination. You might decide, hey, let's not spend money on Christmas presents for things that are going to sit and clutter the house. Let's go build experiences together, and let's meet here a week after Christmas, or the first week of January, when it might be off season, you might get good deals. So you can build new traditions around this time of year. Is a great time to start new traditions. So the 7th item is to travel, and that could be kind of connected with the number 6 thing, where you create new traditions. You might decide, you know what, I don't have anybody, all my family maybe passed away, so I'm going to do something for myself, and I am going to go to a new exotic location every year, every Christmas, to enjoy investing in myself and seeing new things. And the 8th and the final most important thing that you can do is to change perspective. What is it to be alone? Are you alone? Or are you alone? There's a couple different ways that you can go about looking at it. And again, being alone should not be taboo. Being alone should be something that's like, you get to be alone. There are some people that are in terrible relationships that would die to be in your shoes. So it's, again, perspective, because you get to do things that sometimes other people wouldn't. And it could be a great opportunity to mingle and mix with, if you go to friends' houses that are doing holiday celebration, might get to mingle and mix and meet new people that might change your future. You never know. If you might connect on somebody and you decide, hey, let's start doing this together, and you meet a whole new set of friends. That's happened to me before. Actually, last Christmas, I actually was traveling. I was in Florida, and I went to Disney World with a friend, and she met me there, and I wound up meeting her friends. And it was so great because I wound up getting 2 new friends out of the deal that were fantastic. So I made new friends because I was alone and had the ability to travel. I had the ability to do those things. So I did. I went and hung out, and I went and had fun, and got to meet new friends in the process. So you never know what can happen when you just get out there and mingle and have a good time. Thank you so much for watching. If I have provided valuable content, and if I have helped in any way, please like and subscribe. I would love for you to like and subscribe. Also comment if I have been helpful in any way, or any comments that you might want to add. I'd love to hear it. Also share the video if you have a friend. If you're seeing this and you have somebody else that's a friend or who's far away that you can't be with this holiday season, maybe some of the ideas that are in this video that I talked about might help them. So thank you so much, and have a beautiful, blessed day. Peace, blessings, and good health. Bye-bye.